Hello everyone, I'm Kibin Alleyne and today is Tuesday, August 20th. You are now watching Open, a program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to you. Don't forget to stay connected with us via social media at BronxNet TV. Glory Quiñonez is the trailblazing runway model who made history in 2015 as the first little person to walk New York Fashion Week. From her roots in Harlem and time with Good Shepherd Services to her groundbreaking fashion career, Glory's story is one of resilience and inspiration. She now joins us to discuss her journey. Glory, thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Now, can you tell us a little bit more about what sparked your interest in modeling and fashion? And then furthermore, if you ever had any, doubts and how did you overcome those doubts due to the lack of representation?
Yes, so I always had a thing for clothes, love clothes, and I started fashion in high school. I noticed I had swag by the popularity I had in school, and all the kids wanted to be my friend because of the sneakers and clothes that I had on. So I noticed I had a thing for fashion, and from there. I was trying to figure out how to get in the fashion industry. I just didn't know how to go about it. And Trish Morris from the Courageous Faces Foundation, she messaged me on Facebook and asked me to walk for her for New York Fashion Week as one of her faces. And that's how I got into New York Fashion Week and began the runway walk.
That's amazing. So I'd love to learn a little bit more about that journey. Just overall, what was it like to be the first little person to walk the runway at New York Fashion Week, which New York Fashion Week is huge?
It was an experience, to be honest with you. It was fun, a little nervous because you don't see people like me walking the runway, and it was very captivating for a lot of people. People took pictures and they were excited to see someone with a disability to walk the runway and making history as the first Hispanic to walk the runway for New Year Fashion Week.
That's amazing. Now, how did that moment impact you personally, and then we can talk about how it impacted you professionally?
Personally, it boosted my self-esteem. It gave me confidence. It showed me that I could do anything and anything that I put my mind to, I could overcome. I could overcome it.
And then, on the professional matter, how did that, kind of impact you and your goals moving forward?
To go after your dreams, because you never know who's watching you. You never know who is gonna support you or sponsor you. So just go after your dreams. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it. I had that before, and I never let that stop me. I just kept going.
That's amazing. And I would love to kind of talk about that because I think that a lot of people, when we come from backgrounds that we don't often see on screen or on the runway, there may be people who will tell us like, oh, it's just a dream, or like, wow, I can't see you doing that. But, how did you overcome that? And how did you, try to look within to kind of push forward?
As a child, I had a lot of people tell me that I wasn't going to be anything, and I just kept pursuing what I wanted to do. I let that push me to follow my dreams, and I just kept going. I didn't care what anybody had to say. I didn't care if people making fun of me or taking pictures of me. I was just like, you know what, if this is what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go for it. And I know it's gonna impact the world in a positive way, that people like me will be able to walk the runway as well.
Now, I would love to talk a little bit more about your relationship with Good Shepherd Services. Can you tell us, how just having their support was, and how are they supporting you along this journey?
Yes, they have been a good asset to me in my life. They have helped me with my books when I went to college, and I'm the first one to graduate college. So they have supported me through my college years. They're also supporting me now, getting ready to go to Paris, by paying for my travel fees, and they're helping me, and they're preparing me for what's ahead of me.
That's amazing. Now, can you tell me a little bit? You said that you're going to Paris. Is this for Paris Fashion Week?
Yes, Paris Fashion
That's
Week.
amazing. Can you tell us a little bit more about, how that all came about for you, and, that journey that you're expecting to have?
Yes, so I just did some castings for Paris Fashion Week because many of my friends was like, you should do Paris, you should do Paris. You'd be the first one in Paris. So I said, okay, let me go for it. And I did some casting. I'm just waiting for the call back, but I got approved for one of the shows to go to Paris to do London Fashion Week for Paris Fashion Week. So I'm excited.
Wow, that's amazing. And it's so amazing to see somebody like, kind of do big things in New York, but then to do it globally, that is really like amazing. So congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
Now, can you tell me, because of this experience, I understand that you have a desire to give back to your community. So can you just tell us, a little bit more about that desire?
Yes, like I started a workshop called Women Empowerment to help young ladies to have high self-esteem, those who struggle with domestic violence, those who come from foster homes or shelters, to help their self-esteem and see their self-worth, to love themselves. So I started that with Good Shepherds. They allowed me to do that. I was happy that they allowed me to do that. So there's other things like giving back to the community by doing back to school drives and opening and doing other programs for young men to get out the streets and let them know that, hey, there's more out here than, doing things that you shouldn't be doing in the streets.
Now, how do you plan to incorporate your personal experiences into designing a clothing line for little people and those with disabilities?
Yeah. By having high self-esteem, that if people with disabilities see me, or people with average size see me walking the runway and having my own clothing brand, it's an empowerment. It's an empowerment movement that they will feel empowered. When they wear my clothes or my designs, they will feel empowered and say, hey, I feel good. This is somebody that, made history or is fighting for us, advocating for us. Why not wear her clothes?
Now, how has your journey influenced your views on representation and inclusivity in the fashion industry?
In a positive way. Because before I was scared, because there was a lot of discrimination, and I've dealt with discrimination in the fashion industry with one designer that told me you had to be tall, and I didn't let that stop me. I just kept going. So me doing that hopefully is a positive influence for the people that are watching and are walking behind me. Because now little people are walking the runway now. And I'm like, there's someone that made a history for Miami Swim Week, and I was happy for her. So me seeing that, I was like, wow, look at the influence that I have done through the years, and I'm proud. I'm proud.
That's amazing. Now, speaking about representation in the industry, especially the fashion and runway industry, it's a long battle for so many people of so many different walks of life. What do you hope to see change in the industry? And then furthermore, how can we hold designers accountable when they do partake in, things like discrimination?
Yes. So when holding designers accountable, I would say it starts with us to get out there, because some don't know that there's little people or people with disability, but I would say us, like myself, getting out there, they're getting familiar. Okay, let's make clothes for little people. Let's make clothes for people in a wheelchair. Let's make clothes for anybody that's with disability. I would say that.
Now, what specific aspects of the support from Good Shepherd Services had the most profound impact on your career and your personal development?
I would say allowing me to do these workshops to help young people and see their lives change, and that has been a positive impact in my life.
Now, can you just tell us a little bit more about what made you decide to continue this experience? Because I know you mentioned like in the beginning was a little bit hard, and I know for a lot of people, even if they do try, sometimes it's just a little bit too much. So what are some of the aspects that, is it friends, family? Like, what do you use to kind of help you stay motivated to continue going?
My friends and my family and my dad. My dad is my biggest fan. He's always, you better do it, you better go for it. He's always positive. He's my #1 supporter. And I would say God as well, because to me, God has opened many doors for me.
And what advice would you give to somebody who is struggling? I think that in society we are in a place where we're trying to be more accepting and, thinking more positively about different body types. What advice would you give to somebody who may be struggling with that journey to self-love?
I would say first, be yourself. 2, love yourself. 3, don't worry about what nobody say about you, and just go for it. Follow your dream. And if you need any advice, just contact me, and I will guide you and help you.
That's amazing. And I'm curious to know what has the response been like from people who have seen you. Have you had people reach out to you and say, I saw you, that was really beautiful? What was that experience like from people watching?
I have many messages from little people with disability. Even average people say, I was so proud of you. You're changing the world. My aunt, she sent me a message and she was crying, but she was just so proud because she know what I've been through. a lot of people are happy for me and they want me to be successful and they just want me to keep going and make changes and break the barriers for people like me.
That's amazing. And with that being said, what do you hope, what are your goals for your career in the fashion industry? Like what do you plan to kind of take on next?
Hopefully to give people like me opportunities and all types of disability opportunities and work with big name brands. And hopefully from there we'll take off.
And then, looking ahead, what are your goals for your clothing line? Do you have any ideas of what you want it to look like? You don't have to give everything away, of course, but, what do you have in mind? Like, what is the style that you want people to know you for?
Fun, comfortable, a little sexy, and confidence.
That's amazing. And then, also with that being said, I think we're talking about your experience, which is important. But I also think that allyship is also important. And in order for people to kind of make strides, you need a community and a support system. So, what would you say would make somebody a great ally, even if they haven't experienced what you experienced? What does it take to fully support somebody in your shoes?
I would say have a good support system, family, like your family, your friends. There are other little people that supports other little people when they see you doing great things, like myself. They're always supporting us, like, Glory, we're there for you. And I would say have, your friends and your family and a good community that supports you and they see your vision.
Now, with that being said, I understand very quickly that you also may direct your own fashion show. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so hopefully by next year, I will direct my first fashion show, and we'll have people with all types of disabilities, and even average models come down, and I'll be the first one to direct the fashion show.
That's amazing. And where can people go to learn more about that, or any updates?
They can follow me at Instagram at Glory Quiñonez or Facebook Glory Quiñonez, and I will keep people updated from there.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for
you.
joining us.
Thank you so much.
To follow along with Glory's journey, please follow her on social media at Glory Mia Moore. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Open right after this.